Good evening and welcome to the Stone and Wood Post Show. The curtain drops on another day at Bells. The skies are blushing pink and the ocean is still humming from that last heat of the day. Oh my goodness. Morgan Cibilic gets past the giant of Jordy Smith, who had the momentum from El Salvador, and we're seeing a brand new competitor and a human in Morgan Cibilic. Seeing him down this far in a contest, you're remembering of that unbelievable rookie season where he finished 5th in the world. A lot to talk about here on the Stone and Wood Post Show. Joe Turpel, Felicity Palmatier, and Vaughn O'Blakey. Vaughn, this has been a lot of fun. I think the contest officials picked the eyes out of it. Nice delayed start this morning, and wow, that surf really pulsed in the afternoon.
Yeah, swell was pumping really today. The wind was a bit iffy, I guess, but there was just so much opportunity. There was so few slow heats. Everyone had multiple chances to sort of showcase their best surfing with the conditions that we had. And we saw great heats, great results, and some big upsets.
The theme has been kind of upsets, and blue jerseys really standing up against the high seeds. You know, we've got a lot of fresh faces at the pointy end of the contest, Flick.
I mean, today was pretty incredible, right? Vaughn, you touched on it. The win was a bit funny, but you can't complain. There was so much opportunity. I can't believe the last heat we just witnessed. It was just a ding-dong battle. It was back and forth. Morgs ends up getting the win on the sand, and yeah, a lot to process, a lot to digest, and even big news, Ethan going down to, I feel responsible because I kept saying it. I kept saying sometimes the most informed surfer doesn't win, and I mean, there's no doubting it, he was, and unfortunately went down today too.
Yeah, so much to talk about. That was the kind of drama that we had here on Saturday here in Victoria. First, let's get to one of the biggest moments, the Boost Mobile heat of the day. Seeing the veteran of Sally Fitzgibbons, two-time Bells champion. Looks like she was so close to getting in the semifinals, but Brisa had the final say.
She put together a really strong heat here. She was finding rhythm. She's at a place where she's had enormous success, 2 bells in the past. She teed off in this heat, but when she was against the ropes, Brisa Hennessy just came out and stood up. She got the best wave of the heat, best wave of the day, a 9.4, and just really showed character that we know that she's had, but when she gets the canvas, yeah, she teed off. She painted a masterpiece.
For me, it's a day of wave selection, right? I think it was all about that quality wave, and if you were on those waves, you were going to drop those big scores. It really was night and day. If you're taking off from that first wave of the set, it was wobbly. You wanted these clean face waves. I mean, Sal, she ended up dropping an 8.17, one of the excellent waves of the day, but just for me, the 9.4 from Brisa, some of the best surfing we've seen from her all year. And this is her strength. This is where, you know, she shines. It's those big open face waves where she can just really lay that board on rail. She's used to that power. And I mean, you know, it's deadly going into those semi-finals. It's her mum's birthday today too, so nice little present there.
And
Mummy, babe.
Big squeeze for Katie. Happy birthday, Katie. Just adding to her celebration. Brisa 9.4, her best ever number at Bells in her career. And the sound of that score echoed off the sandstone cliffs all the way to Motu Island, where her dad was celebrating with all the Fijians. Look at that combined heat total, but also a great comeback. We know Hennessy was in the semifinals here last year, but this year's completely different result-wise. She really needed this to happen, and now here at Stop 5 Ono.
You could see that she was so stoked with everything. Like, even as she came up the stairs, the sun came out of the clouds. She was just baked in sunshine. She was just in such a happy place, and yeah, she's really connecting beautifully with this bowl at a crucial time.
I'm sorry, guys, but you're going to have to pick a champion. I'm going to bring up the bracket here, and we're coming really quick into finals day, which is probably tomorrow. Lulu in her a semi-final at Bells, her best result ever at the CT level. She's got Brisa, and then Isabella Nichols just took out world #1 Gabriela Bryan, but she has the vet, a world champ multiple times, Bells champ multiple times. Starting with you, Flick.
Tyler. For me, I just have to back the experience, and just taking into account tomorrow's conditions, what we're going to have on offer. When it's onshore and we're in the bowl, there's just so much to contend with, and it just, for me, it's just experience at this wave and knowing where to sit, and you move here, I move here. I just don't think you can deny it. And, you know, as history shows, you get 1 bell, you get 2. It sort of, you go on that trajectory of getting more and accumulating more. It's kind of just I just can't go past Tyler.
Oh, I could literally hear the sound of that ringing in my ears. What about you, Vaughn? You seen another champ for Tyler?
I'm actually torn. I think it'll be Brisa versus Isabella in the final. Bella's riding her magic carpet. It's a board that she won Narrabeen on. She surfed so well in El Salvador on. She's feeling it. But something about Brisa's campaign in this event looks different. When you have a magic moment like you have today, you can really build on that. And Brisa did say to me, I've got so much left in the tank. And I'm like, wow, you're saying that with a 9.4 in your score? Yeah. Look out.
Great topics there. It's funny, guys. We actually have different opinions going into finals day. I love it. I'm seeing Lulu kind of go all the way. She's feeling confident now. She knows she belongs. It's a great venue for her, and she's got all the backing she needs to ring that bell tomorrow.
We've picked everyone.
That's awesome. When you know you got a great final series. Yeah. On the men's side, wow, we had some fireworks. And like you mentioned earlier, Flick, Ethan was the guy to beat. And when you got someone with a perfect track record against the guy, it was Kanoa's time just to say, hey, I've got Ethan's number, and he still does, even at bells.
It's pretty crazy, right? And coming into this event, the surfing we saw yesterday from Ethan was the best surfing I've ever seen on the bowl. It was undeniable, but he matched up against Kanoa, and I think you had him in the post-heat interview. Avorno was Kanoa, and he said, yeah, I don't care about the history that we have here. Let's just duel tomorrow. We've got the same coach. We both know what each other are doing out here. It's just going to be a full slugfest, and it was.
Yeah, it was incredible, but Kanoa, he just got the better waves. It really just came down to that. There was a couple of mistakes from Ethan as well, which were just so uncharacteristic. But Kanoa just drilled home every single opportunity, and he drilled it with flair. Like, he wasn't just surfing strong. He was bringing something special, something extra to every single turn, and his finishing maneuvers really showcased that. He was blasting the tail so far out the back, and I think this one will showcase that. Oh no, that was one of the little taps on the inside, but he was just doing these big, classic Kanoa Igarashi nose pick, tail bow, board slides. Good stuff to watch.
Ethan hasn't made a wrong step all event long, and he got kind of rattled the first time in the contest against Kanoa. I felt like he had the winning wave and he poked on it. He had that big hammer and just purled. You're going, what's going on? He was taking off and kicking out. He's the most efficient surfer on tour. He had waves, and it's just unlike him to just kick up and out and be on the wrong maneuver selection. So Kanoa definitely has his number right now.
Yeah, well, Ronnie mentioned, it was the first time someone had actually taken it to Ethan in this event. He's had it all his own way, in almost every heat. So, yeah, that pressure, it really created the diamonds for Kanoa in the end.
A big one for Kanoa, first semi-final, as he is looking to ring the bell for the first time. And it is pretty wild to think that he's just had one CT win in the past. I think we were talking about that earlier, Flick, and this is a great chance for him to win one of the most prestigious events on the calendar.
It is, and it is amazing because he's so consistent. When I think of him as a surfer, how he puts heats together, the strategy behind it all too, and just the reps on the board and the experience he's had over the years at all these different locations, it's pretty incredible. So going into tomorrow, I think he's going to be pretty fired up, especially taking down the most informed surfer of the heat of the contest. You've got to be taking some confidence from that.
And I think, being in close quarters with Ethan probably helps Kanoa out. They're both working with Jake Patterson, so it becomes a little bit more real. You're not watching a guy from afar putting up big numbers. You're with him in the same camp day in and day out. As we check out the finals day bracket, don't quite have the semis dialed yet. We do have Kanoa versus Morgan Cibilic, and we'll be probably starting with quarter 3 tomorrow. Griffin takes on Samuel Pupo. Jake Marshall with Jack Robinson. Vaughn.
There's going to be a new bell ringer. Jordy Smith being knocked out just then. That eliminates any chance of someone who's rung the bell before getting it done. I think Tyler's the only person left in the whole comp who can do it. But that's super exciting. That's a really cool bracket to see, and some good surfing still to come in the quarters.
Is it unfair to ask a favorite to win since we don't have the semifinals dialed, or do you already have one in your mind, Flick, now that Ethan's out? Anyone taking that place?
Oh,
we could go over tomorrow morning.
Just give me till tomorrow. I don't want to go prematurely into this.
I just think on the back of that last heat, I'm just going to get on the Morgs train, because a wild card winning at Bells is a story we've heard before, and it just sets up this, I don't know, fairy tale sort of experience. It's been a fantastic event. We've done everything. Yesterday was a real cherry, such a great moment that'll help this contest sort of live forever, I think. And, you know, a wild card victory on the top of that, why not?
Yeah, I'm seeing Griff on the bottom half of the draw, finding his magic back, runner-up last year, and now finding his feet again and getting a big win this season. We'll put Flick on the spot first thing in the morning because we got to dive into the forecast. You can't pick winners without knowing what the waves are going to do. Thanks, Surfline. Coming into a potential finals day tomorrow.
Hey, I got a winner for you looking at this. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at 6 to 10 foot. It's going to be onshore, it's going to be bumpy, it's going to be lumpy tomorrow, but it's side offshore and it's going to handle it, you know. Like, we saw some great opportunity today. Moving through to Monday, obviously it gets a little bit smaller, but I've got a winner and I think it's going to be Jack Robbo, just in the way that he deals with lump and bump and an unruly ocean.
Ooh, great call. Smart, waiting for that forecast as well as we focus in on the Hydrolite heat to watch coming into finals day. Kanoa Igarashi versus Morgan Cibilic. A lot to unpack here, Vaughn. What are you seeing?
Yeah, this is a really great matchup. Morgan will be bringing so much confidence into that heat after beating Jordy. I think he's just going to be going, okay, 2 more heats and I'm ringing that bell. For Kanoa, it's a bit more dangerous, I feel. You know, he's already taken down the #1 favourite in Ethan Ewing, so he's just going to have to watch himself, make sure he does exactly what he did against Ethan. Surf a perfect heat, bring all that flair that he brought in the last heat. Great show, though, coming up there.
Been a consistent theme with the Hydrolite heat to watch on the women's side. Isabella's been a part of all of them as she takes on Tyler Wright.
This is interesting. I think both these women have lots of experience here. Tyler, obviously, with more. However, I think it's just going to be a case of who's on those better waves. Tomorrow, it's going to be even bigger, though, right? And maybe when I say who's maybe confident in those bigger conditions and who's got more experience out here, I just can't go past Tyler. Although Bella, I mean, today, she really surprised me with the performance she put on. You mentioned, Vaughn, she's on that magic board, but will she be on it tomorrow if the surf does pick up? I don't know.
Well, finals day, I'm calling it 100% she'll be on it because it's a 5'11". It's already kind of probably slightly bigger than a regular board anyway. So, yeah, I think she'll trust the gear that works.
Can't wait. Really looking forward to it. Fun part of the show as we get into the BioGland Daily Dose. The biggest moments of the day coming in at number 5, Jack Robinson. Huge matchup with Filipe Toledo. He picked the best waves and really dominated.
This heat was amazing because Filipe Toledo, normally he can get scores on anything. Robbo did not give him a sniff. He suffocated Filipe's run in this event, and it was a good run with just perfect strategy and elite surfing. All the little warbles that were in his heat yesterday on the rail, they were gone. He was locked in. And this was about as perfect as you can put a heat together. It was just a commanding win.
Oh, so clean, and his rails had Filipe comboed, which is just wild looking at waves like this. Filipe had to work really hard for the scores he got, and Jack just kept that Jack pace. Picked the best waves, super smooth rails, big finishing moves, and just sat there with the lead and priority for the majority of the matchup. Bemiu's happy. Filipe moving on to the Gold Coast. Coming in at number 4, celebrating Luana Silva's first championship tour semifinal.
This is really cool. This is a great moment for Lulu. And we said it before, but these kind of waves, I feel like Bells, you look at the stops on the tour, this is one where you think she's going to do well. I mean, similarities with Sunset, I think, you know, was it Vaughn or Rosie? You had her in the post-heat interview and she was just getting emotional, you know. I think she's obviously down the bottom of the rankings too. She needs to make a charge and things are finally clicking, you know, and it's not for a lack of her not feeling like her surfing wasn't there, because she's felt that. She's been vocal about that. Just for some reason, things weren't going her way, so it's finally going her way. Could we potentially see her ring the bell at her first World Championship Tour event?
She's at 13th on the rankings as we look at number 3, Cibilic, living up to the expectations as the wildest wild card here.
So cool to see, and Morg just went, attack that lip. That was his strategy, excuse me, as he came off the bottom. It was all about just trying to get peak moments like this one. He did so well to get good, clean finishes, and really that was the difference in the end. You know, Jordy had that big swooping carve. He's in that beautiful rhythm. He got the highest scoring wave of the heat to give himself a chance, but it was the explosiveness of Morgan Cibilic and the drive, the attack dog, the Mumrod's back.
That's right. I mean, it was 2021 when we saw him in CT semifinals. That was the year he finished 5th in the world. It's been a while, but he is better to take out one of the favorites. surrounded by good friends and positive energy.
Cult heroes, they'll be back for Morgs tomorrow.
Number 2, Isabella Nichols wins the rematch from the final at Punta Roca, takes out world number 1, Gabriela Bryan.
This is going to feel good for Bella. I mean, you could just tell that she wanted to one-up Gabby after El Sal, and I think, you know what, it's all working her way. It was a master stroke. She took off on the best waves, the best 2 waves, and it's kind of what you need to do when you're coming up against world number 1 and someone who's in that fine form. You need to eliminate that opportunity for her, and she did, and she's on the magic board, Vorna.
Were you seeing the Steph line in these waves? Like, it just looked exactly like some of Steph's best performances. Fanging off the bottom, really coming just up under that lip line, using that extra drive and the length in the rail to just pull it around into this spectacular surfing. Fantastic result for
her
Bella.
finishes were flashy, they were fast, and she owned that one as she moves forward and winning the BioGland Daily Dose. Brisa, brilliant, 9.4 to get the win off Sal.
Oh, I really love to see this because I just love it when really good people do really good things. And Brisa is just, she's so awesome, not just in the water, but also on land. And I think for her to drop this 9.4, I mean, one of the better ways that we've seen her surf on tour ever. And, you know, it's her mum's birthday. I mean, what more could you want? Good present for Katie. But I think she's looking deadly. I mean, I know we picked all 4 when we looked at the women's bracket, but it's really hard not to because they've all had their own best individual performances throughout this event. And I mean, yeah, it's going to be fire show, firecrackers, fire show, fireworks. It's going to be fireworks.
It's going to be firing.
As long as it's not Fire Festival.
That is not.
Pick your favorites for the win tomorrow, because we're looking at tomorrow morning could be kicking off with finals day pretty early. Remember, we had a later start last couple of days because of that high tide. We're looking to make a call tomorrow morning at 6:45 local time to try to get a jump start on men's quarter 3. Everything's going to be on deck. Enjoy the highlights from an incredible day of competition here at Bells, and we can't wait to see you bright and early to crown our champions. Take care, everybody. See you in the morning.
Brisa Hennessy.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.